Seniors, please be seated. It is my duty as senior class president to give the history of the class of 1995. 4 years ago, we entered the hot, vast, mint green halls of U.S. Grant High School. Everything was different from middle school. We were no longer the elders, and we were going to school with people who were almost adults. It was an exciting but scary time. Some of us had older friends, which provided us with a little comfort, but more importantly, a ride to lunch. Some of us ran back and forth to the nearest restaurant so we wouldn't be late to our next class, but most of us didn't mind the rush because we knew that we would be driving soon and we enjoyed the freedom. At pep assemblies, we showed very little spirit, but not because we lacked it. We were just shy and timid and didn't know if it was real cool to cheer yet, because the seniors did it. Throughout the year, we looked to the seniors for guidance by example. We studied their every move in the hallways, in the classrooms, and at assemblies. By the end of the year, we were finally catching on and starting to adjust to the freedoms and responsibilities of being a high school student. And that's when it happened. They closed campus, which was the worst possible thing they could do to a class that was almost old enough to drive. To make matters worse, they required us to walk through metal detectors every morning before we entered school. The increasing security was due to unfortunate events at some neighboring schools. We felt we were being punished for others' wrongs. We protested, but we went into that summer hoping that it would all blow over by our sophomore year when we could drive. As we all know, it didn't. Instead, security tightened as we were given an even stricter dress code and required to wear identification badges. The halls were still mint green, hot, but not quite so vast. We were finally starting to feel comfortable on our own, and it showed at pep assemblies. We became a fierce competitor for the spirit stick, and we even won it a couple of times. Our unity at the pep assemblies was especially unique due to our limited social life. At school, we spent our time studying for chemistry or preparing for the statewide essay writing test, thus leaving us with little time to socialize. Our junior year brought us a new principal by the name of Dick Vroman in exchange for Rita Bilby. Our school life took a new focus under the new administration. Meanwhile, we were busy focusing on our first prom. We had become, which once again had left us and our parents' pockets feeling very shallow as we pinched our pennies to meet the expense of such an evening. The need for money convinced much more of us to get a job, which must have disrupted our balance of unity because our spirit started to fade at pep assemblies. Of course, taking every standardized test they could dig up didn't exactly boost our spirits into cheering. We apparently didn't fare very well on one of those tests, and the administration began to question our literacy. The counselors started spelling out words like ACT and SAT. Some of us still said, "Never heard of it." April 16th, 1994 brought us our first prom. It was held at Leadership Square and was filled with many magic moments. The night left us with empty pockets, but many stories to tell. Finally, we were seniors. Our day had come. Although we couldn't torture the freshmen because they were in some school within a school, it was finally our turn to lead by example. The reality took a little while to sink in, but the expenses and paperwork didn't. Before most of us even knew what they were, we were paying for things like senior dues, announcements, caps and gowns, pictures, and another prom. We were filling out applications for scholarships we thought we would never receive. And we finally became very familiar with things like the ACT and the SAT. We were making major decisions and looking for guidance from a staff of 3 completely new counselors. In addition to having 3 completely new counselors, we were given a new principal by the name of William Scoggin. And a new dean of students. All of these expenses, applications, and changes in the administration left us with other things to ponder on during the PEP assemblies. We had appeared to have lost our spirit. But in a final, shining moment, we were cheated out of the spirit stick at our final PEP assembly. Our class has definitely dealt with its share of adversity, but I believe that it has helped to better prepare us for life. As we leave the halls of U.S. Grant High School, we see that the walls are freshly painted white and people are working on air conditioning for next year. As we look around, we see many changes, but we've had our share of changes too. We've had 3 new principals in 4 years. I don't know how many assistant principals, 7 counselors, 2 deans of students, and many different teachers. We've seen an open campus close, open doors lock, and mint green walls turn white. So isn't it appropriate that our senior year theme be something to the effect of change, live with it? Well, I find the saying on the back of our senior shirts even more appropriate, which reads, "We did our time and we ain't coming back." Thank you.